Now we get to iron. Iron is actually very corrosive and very dangerous to our bodies because we really have no mechanism to get rid of it other than, giving blood or a woman menstruating. It's especially dangerous to men and postmenopausal women. But the type of iron that you'll see in a lot of supplements is ferrous sulfate. Oh my gosh, it's like rust. I think 1 out of 200 or 300 people have a condition called hemochromatosis where this is even more of a problem. Even if you take normal amounts of iron, it's going to be even more deadly because the body will just hold on to it very, very tightly. So if you're cooking from iron skillets, taking supplements with iron, but also they enrich a lot of foods with iron, like a lot of wheat products and grains. Of course, if you're following my channel, you're probably not eating that, but if you're not following my channel, you might be consuming those things. Typically, if you have too much iron, you're going to be more at risk for type 2 diabetes, liver issues, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Other than that, you'd be totally fine. So I highly recommend that you just really avoid any supplements with iron or any fortified food with iron. Get your iron from foods. Even if you're anemic, I would recommend consuming liver, red meat, or something like that, but I wouldn't recommend a supplement, especially ferrous sulfate. Let's go to number 7, magnesium oxide. You probably know how important magnesium is, but the form of it is super important. Oxide is like a really cheap form. This form only absorbs like 3%. So if that pill was 500 milligrams, they would only be getting 20 milligrams from one pill. That's insignificant. And so as soon as they start increasing it, now they're going to get diarrhea because it pulls a lot of water into the colon. And then when they have diarrhea, and then guess what happens? They flush out the electrolytes. So this is not a good form. You're not going to get enough because of the absorption. And then as soon as you start increasing it, you get diarrhea. The best form of magnesium is magnesium glycinate. You're going to absorb like 80 to 85%. You're not going to get diarrhea. You're going to get the benefits of magnesium, which is better sleep, lower cortisol, less muscle spasm, and more energy. Let's go to number 8, synthetic vitamin D. The name for this is ergocalciferol, okay? And the way that they make this is they radiate fungus or yeast with UV radiation. It's not as potent. And so these conversions of synthetic D3 to the active form of vitamin D are not nearly as efficient as the D3. Also, the way that it's transported, there's a protein that delivers this vitamin D to the kidney and liver, and it's called a vitamin D binding protein. Well, with vitamin D2, it's not really connected or bound very, very strongly compared to D3. So you don't end up getting the same effect as you do the D3. And of course, the most common doctor prescription for vitamin D is D2, not D3. I think because you can't patent D3 because it's natural. It's the most important vitamin of anything, and a lot of people are deficient. They don't get enough sun. And when you're lacking vitamin D, your immune system suffers, you get bone pain, you get depressed, and many other issues as well. Number 9, if you see a supplement that is adding omega-6 fats, and maybe in the form of linoleic acid, don't take it. And I recently did a video on dog food. They were adding this ingredient. And I'm like, I wonder if people know we don't need more omega-6. We have way too much. We need a ratio, 1-to-1 ratio of omega-6 to omega-3. Well, guess what? An average person in the US has a ratio of 25 times more omega-6 than omega-3. Omega-6 is very pro-inflammatory. Omega-3 is anti-inflammatory. The average person consumes 25 to 30% of all of their calories being the seed oils. It's highly inflammatory. You want to get your omegas from fish, cod liver oil, grass-fed meat, things like that. And then number 10 is copper. Now listen, we need copper, okay? We need zinc. We need all these trace minerals. But if you're taking the cheap version in higher amounts, it can be very toxic. It's very important with a copper-zinc ratio. We need 10 times as much zinc to copper, and we need to kind of keep it in that ratio for everything to work. Because if you're taking a lot of zinc, that can create a copper deficiency. If you're taking a lot of copper without zinc, that can mess up your zinc as well. But too much copper can flip things from being an antioxidant and create oxidation, amyloid plaquing in Alzheimer's, inflammation in your brain. And in relationship to Alzheimer's, they're calling it the new aluminum because aluminum is also toxic to the brain with Alzheimer's, but so is copper. So too much copper in the wrong form ends up accumulating in your brain and in your liver. Get your trace minerals, especially copper, from shellfish or liver or dark chocolate. And if you do take copper, make sure you take it with the other trace minerals in the right combination. Now, I briefly touched on magnesium oxide and magnesium glycinate. There are many other forms with different purposes, different absorptions. I created a video on that that's super interesting. I think you'd really enjoy it, and I put it up right here. Check it out.